I'm acutely aware, Charlamagne, that I'm a black person, just as you are a black person. And when Joe Biden insulted you by saying, you ain't really black, we don't know whether or not you want to vote for me or vote for Donald Trump, it seems to me that should have been a wake-up call on your part. How dare this guy come in here and insult you, a black man, and tell you you got to think a certain kind of way? I'm amazed that you weren't mad about that.
I'm not gonna say it upset me, just like I'm not letting you upset me. You know what I mean? I don't tend to get upset over things like that. But what I did say,
well, you just not talk about a nigger wake-up call, and it seemed to me that should have been a wake-up call on your part to have a white guy come in here and tell you you have to say think a certain kind of way, otherwise you quote ain't black. Wow.
All right, guys. So we got to do another reaction to the Breakfast Club interview with Larry Elder, because this interview is so wild to me, right? It is so wild how the Breakfast Club treats people who disagree with them politically. I think there's a difference between being tough on somebody and trying to hold them accountable in an interview versus just flat out being disrespectful, okay? And that is what is happening to conservatives who go on this talk show, this radio show, whatever you want to call it, and try to have a policy discussion with these ignorant fools. First and foremost, you can't have a real discussion because the only thing that comes out of their mouth are woke talking points, leftist Democrat Party talking points about racism, right? And then second of all, again, there's just so much disrespect that comes out of these people's mouth, and you can just tell they don't respect the conservatives that come onto this platform. They don't show them the same respect that they would show somebody like a Democrat, like a Joe Biden or Hillary Clinton or whoever that comes on the show. And I want to talk about this segment right here from Charlamagne the God and Larry Elder, in which Larry Elder humiliates Charlamagne the God to his face, because Charlamagne the God is going to ask Larry Elder about his so-called N-word wake-up call. And if you guys don't know what the N-word wake-up call is, let me explain it to you, because people tell me all the time in my comment section that, hey, I'm going to get the N-word wake-up call one day, okay? The N-word wake-up call is when you have a black person who's successful, who is not running around here boohoo whining, crying about racism, who does not hate white people, right? Who's basically going about his business, going about taking care of his family, is successful, proving that, again, as a black person, you don't need to worry about the white man in order to get ahead or be obsessed with your race, right? That type of black person, they say, is going to get their N-word wake-up call, which basically just means that one day they're going to experience racism from the white man, and then all of a sudden they're going to realize that, hey, I'm black, right? And I'm a victim, and I need to boohoo whine and cry about racism like all these people do, right? And Charlamagne the God is going to ask Larry Elder if he thinks he's going to get his N-word wake-up call one day. And Larry Elder gives Charlamagne the God the perfect clap back. He humiliates Charlamagne the God to his face. This is honestly probably one of the greatest clips that I've ever seen, right? So we're going to react to it. But before I get into it, we have to have a word from the sponsor of this video, Noble Gold. The US dollar has lost 85% of its value since the 70s, when the dollar was decoupled from gold. And the government seems bent on continuing that tradition. From now and up until the next election, the government has free reign to print as much money as they want. And the last time that this happened, everybody knows, everybody remembers, inflation went up 9%. This means one thing: the security of your future and your family's future is all in your hands. Make sure you freeze the value of the wealth you're holding. Invest in gold with Noble Gold Investments. Gold is the one asset that is proven to withstand recession, inflation, and just about all economic threats. Noble Gold is here to help you if you want to invest in gold. You will also get a 24 karat, 1/4 ounce gold standard coin for free. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 877-646-5347 to get started, or go to noblegoldinvestments.com. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. And just remember, there's a risk with every investment, and there's no guarantee of any kind.
I know you probably got to go. Have you ever heard of the term nigga wake up call?
No.
It is an incident where a person of color forgets that they are of color and are reminded rather brutally by an unexpected act of racism. Have you ever had any of those?
Oh, brother.
I'm just asking.
What a stupid question, right? What a dumb ass question, okay? And this is just one of a series of dumbass questions that the Breakfast Club asked Larry Elder. And I'm going to talk about another segment here in which, it was just a bunch of stupidity. But again, this is embarrassing for this show. This show is really embarrassing. It really is. This is for low IQ individuals. Only a low IQ individual would watch this show on a daily basis for political analysis and news.
You think you've ever
Well,
had
I'm acutely aware, Charlamagne, that I'm a black person, just as you are a black person. And when Joe Biden insulted you by saying, you ain't really black, we don't know whether or not you want to vote for me or vote for Donald Trump, it seems to me that should have been a wake-up call on your part. How dare this guy come in here and insult you, a black man, and tell you you got to think a certain kind of way? I'm amazed that you weren't mad about that.
I'm not gonna say it upset me, just like I'm not letting you upset me. You know what I mean? I don't tend to get upset over things like that. But what I did say,
well, you just not talk about a nigger wake-up call, and it seemed to me that should have been a wake-up call on your part to have a white guy come in here who also said, by the way, about Mitt Romney. Because he didn't want to put more regulations on Wall Street, going to put y'all back in chains. And Joe Biden has lied for decades about his civil rights record, claiming that he desegregated movie theaters and restaurants in Wilmington, Delaware, when he didn't do any of that. He lied and said that he tried to visit Nelson Mandela during apartheid South Africa. He did not. And he came in here and told you aren't even black and let you think a certain kind of way. It seemed to me that should have been a nigga wake-up call for you, but it wasn't, apparently.
Yo, that is the greatest minute and a half of my life ever, bruh. That is nothing but facts. That should have been his nigga wake-up call, right? And that's what y'all want to talk about. That's what you want to call it, okay? You let a white man, Joe Biden, come on your platform and tell you that you ain't black if you don't vote for him, and you said nothing. You said nothing. You just took it. You just took it. But yet what people like Charlamagne the God do is that they try to make it seem like Larry Elder, people like him that disagree with, the woke revolutionaries politically, oh, well, you ain't really black. You ain't black because you don't agree with people like Joe Biden. Joe Biden, who, again, disrespected Charlamagne the God to his face. And Charlamagne the God just took it. He just went along with it. Well, I don't see any need to be upset about that. It's like, bro, that's just blatant disrespect. It's just blatant disrespect. And then he got the nerve to ask Larry Elder, when do you think you're going to get your N-word wake-up call? Have you gotten yours? You should have gotten yours. The Democrat Party letting you know that, hey, if you don't vote for us, you ain't black. If that ain't an N-word wake-up call, I don't know what is. Again, Larry Elder just embarrassed this man, bruh. I mean, that was the perfect clapback. Oh, my God. When I first saw this clip, I was dying, bro. I was dying laughing at this clip in the gym.
I mean, for the record, I'm not a Democrat or Republican.
I didn't say you were.
Yeah, I think both.
I don't know what you are. I never even asked you about your party affiliation.
Yeah,
You're a far leftist. I love when these so-called independents come on these platforms and try to pretend like, well, I'm not a Democrat or Republican. You are a far leftist and you vote Democrat. Charlamagne the God literally said that he's voting Democrat. He voted for Joe Biden because of Kamala Harris. How did that work out? Right? Now he's the main person complaining about the Democrats. You voted for him because of skin color and what they have between their legs, the vice president. And they always come, well, I'm an independent. I'm not a Democrat or Republican. Well, you're a far leftist.
I'm just saying, but you are black. And to have a white guy come in here and tell you have to say think a certain kind of way, otherwise you, quote, ain't black? Wow.
How should I have replied to him, you think?
What I just now said, how dare you insult me and tell me I think as a human being, let alone as a black person? I don't tell you how to think, Joe Biden. How dare you come in here and tell me how I should think? I'm going to vote for Donald Trump if I want to vote for Donald Trump. And if I want to vote for Donald Trump, it does not make me not black. 20% of black people, black men, as I said, voted for Donald Trump in 2020. Are they not black now? So only 80% of black men walking around are really black, 20% are not because they voted for Donald Trump. How insulting is that? How condescending is that?
He doesn't realize it. He don't understand it, right? Because, again, he's a pawn of the Democrat Party. Remember that interview Charlamagne the God did with Kamala Harris? And when Charlamagne the God actually tried to press her, she snapped at him. She went off on Charlamagne the God, right?
So who's the real president of this country? Is it Joe Manchin or Joe Biden, Madam Vice President?
Come on, Charlamagne.
Come
on. It's Joe Biden.
I can't tell sometimes.
No. It's Joe Biden. It's Joe Biden. And don't start talking like a Republican about asking whether or not he's president. It's Joe Biden.
Do you think Joe Manchin is a problem?
It's Joe Biden. And I'm vice president, and my name is Kamala Harris.
Well, the reason why Charlamagne the God just took it is because he wants access to those individuals, right? He has to play the game in order to get a platform that, quite honestly, as somebody that's not a journalist, as somebody that's not particularly educated on politics, doesn't really know too much, he shouldn't have the platform. He shouldn't be out here interviewing the vice president or the president of the United States. So in order for him to have that platform, he has to play nice, okay? And Kamala Harris let him know, as soon as you don't play nice with me, as soon as you step out of line, she gave him his N-word wake-up call and let him know, hey, you better come correct. When you're interviewing me, you better not be trying to press me with no hard questions. Again, this guy Charlamagne the God is a fool, bro. He's an embarrassment. He really is.
I mean, you're probably right, but I didn't take it in that way.
Well, I did.
As I said to him
Right.
in that moment, you know, it's just about me wanting something for my people, and I want to know what is he going to do for my people, and not only for my people now, how are you going to atone for the things you've done to my people?
Right.
That's it.
Right. And this is a guy, Joe Biden, who, when he first got into the Senate, hung out with segregationists, talked about how well he got along with them, talked about how he didn't want integration because of a jungle. This guy has made all sorts of insulting things to black people, and his policies right now are hurting black people. Inflation hurts the people at the bottom more than anything else. Letting a bunch of illegal aliens into the border are hurting black people more than anybody else, as I said earlier. He opposes school choice when he has his own kids in private school, and we lost a year, almost 2 years of in-school education in California because of COVID that he supported. I mean, this guy has done monstrous things to black people, and then for him to come in here and tell you how you ought to think as a black person, it blew my mind.
As a person objectively who doesn't care about either party, when I just take a step back and I just look at everything that's happening, I see one party that seems still committed to democracy somewhat, and one
Right.
party who's headed fast towards fascism.
Yeah. Democrats are committed towards democracy. They were committed towards democracy when they actively tried to overthrow President Trump. They were committed towards democracy when they allegedly rigged their primaries against Bernie. They're committed towards democracy when they're currently trying to rig their primaries against RFK Jr. By not having any debates or anything like that, or any type of real primary against Joe Biden. Yeah, this guy Charlamagne the God brainwashed, right? Clearly brainwashed. But I want to play another segment here of just how stupid this show is, right? How low IQ this show is. Teslin Figueroa, who infamously melted down in an interview with Vivek Ramaswamy on The Breakfast Club over the fact that apparently he hadn't done enough civic work in order to be president of the United States for her. Apparently, because he wasn't the hall monitor in 6th grade, right? That wasn't good enough for her in regards to his civic duty, even though, again, the dude is a CEO of, a multi-million-dollar company, and, he's clearly, been a leader, right, in his field or whatever all his life. Not good enough for her, right? She's going to ask this same line of stupid question to Larry Elder, in which this time she's going to ask about systems, right? What systems have black people ever been in control of? Because in her mind, again, the white man is at fault for everything, okay? Systemic racism is at fault for why black people are in our position. And again, everything's the white man's fault. And she's going to ask Larry Elder this question about systems. And I just want you guys to just watch and just listen to how stupid this woman sounds as Larry Elder answer her question. But she does the exact same thing to Larry Elder that she did with Vivek Ramaswamy, in which Larry Elder's answer is not quote unquote good enough, or she pretends that Larry Elder is not understanding what she's asking or not answering his question, even though he clearly is. Take a look.
I believe Hillary was treated differently and Joe Biden treated differently than Donald Trump is being treated. Yes, I do. Is that an indictment about whether or not America is systemically racist? No, it is not. Those are
They're two totally different things.
Yes,
you're
yes, they
trying
are.
to merge the two, but they're two totally different things.
I agree with you. They're
But
two
it is
different
still the
things.
system.
No,
It is
no,
still-
we're
it is still the
agreeing. We're
system.
agreeing. They're two different things. We're agreeing.
No, we're agreeing to two different things. We're not agreeing that there's not systematic racism because we're not in charge of the system, sir. In case you
Okay, all right.
Black people have never been in charge of any system.
Well,
we're not
actually, we have been. Take Baltimore.
No, we've never been in charge of
May I
any
finish?
system. Tell me, what financial system are black people in
Okay,
charge of?
let's
What
take-
healthcare system are black people in charge of? What government system are black people in charge of?
I'm about ready to tell you.
What prison system are black people in
I'm about ready to tell you.
I'm not talking about mayors. I already know that talking point, sir. I go on Fox News all the time as well. So let's not go there with that. I said, what system have we created?
Goodness.
Have we implemented that we have been in charge of? Name one.
Is this why you don't like talking to black women, Larry Elder?
Wow. Baltimore. Freddie Gray a few years ago.
No. That's mayors. I'm not talking. I said system.
I'm
Remember,
going to
like
tell
the
you
word
about
system.
this system if you allow me to finish my point.
I'm not talking about somebody elected and doing a job, sir. I asked what system did we create? What financial
Okay, let's
system
talk
did we
about the
create?
system of one of the largest.
Let him say his point,
Thank you.
man.
One of the systems of one of the largest cities in America, Baltimore. Freddie Gray died in police custody a few years ago. The mayor was black. The head of the police department was black. Number two.
It's not in charge of the system, but go ahead.
Number two person in charge of the police department was black. All
Still not in charge of the
all of
system.
city council, Democrats, majority black.
Still not in charge of the system.
Wow.
That's a position.
6 officers charged, 3 of them were black. A judge before whom 2 of the officers tried their case, found him not guilty, was black.
Still not in charge of the system.
The city intendant of public schools was black. The county superintendent of public schools is black. The attorney general at the time, Loretta Lynch, is black, as was the president of the United States, was black. And yet,
Still not in charge of the system.
who's in
I
charge of
asked
the
you a
system,
simple
Ted?
question, sir.
Well, Wanda Sykes said when Barack Obama got elected, how are you going to complain about the man when you are the man? Now, from the president to the attorney general to the state attorney to the mayor to the head of the police department to the commissions of the schools in the city and in the county to the majority of city council in that city, all of them are black. And you're still saying that we don't run anything?
So who's in charge of the
No,
system,
no.
Ted?
I said who created the system. I didn't say we didn't run anything. I challenged a lot of those black leaders, by the way. I said when we talk about the system, what black people have been in charge of any system. I'm not talking about a position. I'm not talking about a mayor. You know good
Oh,
and
so
well what I'm talking
you're
about,
basically
Mr.
saying
Elder.
that they're black faces that are still in those
Correct.
positions, but they're still being a
Correct.
part
Similar
of the
to
system.
you, Mr. Elder.
so-
You're
so-
a black face in a position in the conservative movement. They're just the same. They're just on the other side. I'm talking about we have never been in charge
then
of
when
the
Martin Luther
system.
King said in 1966, I believe there could be a black president in about 40 years' time, then it really doesn't matter if there's one or isn't.
No,
It's one because nothing changes. He was
well,
naive.
the system
He was
also
naive then.
killed him as well. Well, we know that the FBI and the CIA also killed him. That system. You realize that, correct?
Wow. An individual killed him.
Right. That was also a part of Pro Hotel through the system.
COINTELPRO,
Correct?
yeah.
Not correct.
COINTELPRO.
Not correct. He was
So
killed.
the FBI didn't have anything to do with it. The CIA didn't have anything to do with
J.
it.
Edgar Hoover was definitely on Martin's ass. Like, come on.
I didn't say he wasn't.
Oh.
Robert Kennedy is the one that approved the wiretaps. But to say that the FBI killed him, I mean, what's your evidence of that?
No,
That's a pretty serious charge.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Pretty serious charge.
Yeah.
Serious charge that
Yeah, I
requires
was talking
serious
about the
evidence.
Yeah.
What is your
Mr.
enforcement
Elder,
law proposal?
Yeah, again, as I said before the past, I'll say it again. This woman is too dumb to be on this show. I'm so serious. I don't know what else to say, bruh. She does the same thing, okay? She asks these questions to try to pretend like she's so damn smart when you're not. Again, this is what happens when people try to pretend they're smarter than they are. They end up just sounding really stupid, right? She asks this man, can you give me an example of a system that black people are in charge of, right? That black people are running. Larry Elder gives her a clear as day example. Baltimore, which a city by definition is a system, ran by all black people from top to bottom. Okay, Larry Elder went through a list of officials in the city who are black, right? Who are running things, who are in charge. And again, he didn't just say, well, the mayor's black, therefore the system is ran by black people. No, he went further than that. Okay, he talked about how there are various parts of the system that are ran by black people in that city, named it all, right? And this woman, not good enough, right? Not good. That's not what I'm talking about. Well, what the hell are you talking about? What the hell are you talking about, right? If you're not talking about that system, what are you talking about? Are you talking about some evil cabal of white people that's at the top of the top, right? That apparently is above the president of the United States. They're above any mayor, any leader in this country, any politician. Is that what you're talking about? Because it sounds to me like she's going into conspiracy land, right? There's an evil cabal of white people that control everything, even these black cities that are run by all black people, right? Apparently, that's not good enough. That's not the system that she's talking about. Again, I'm not sure exactly what system she's talking about, but by definition, a city is a system, okay? And in Baltimore, it was being run by all black people, and you can see the so-called racism is still happening, okay? So again, is it systemic racism or just bad policy? again, we can't really have that conversation because, again, these people are so stuck on the race stuff. And then the worst part about it is that you have amazing simps on the internet who are defending this woman and calling her Yas Queen, right? As if, again, she's bringing anything intelligent to the conversation. She's really not.
407, you're on the line.
Hey, this is Teslin Figaro. How are you?
Teslin, the queen herself.
Man, can I just tell you, somebody sent me your video. I just got it maybe about an hour ago. I didn't know you were live.
Woo! Absolutely, bruh. Absolutely. See, here's the thing. There are more women like that than you know. That's what I would argue. There are more black women like that than you know. The only problem is these mofos don't give them a mic. Because they know that when you get a black man or a black woman who can hold the room and knows what the heck they're talking about, that it's powerful. That energy is infectious. That's why. You have to understand that. You have to understand that. So when they actually get the mic by accident or by God's grace, whatever the two, that you see the outcome, bro. You see the outcome. You see it.
Yeah, embarrassment, right? Embarrassment is the outcome, which is exactly what happened to the Breakfast Club doing that interview with Vivek Ramaswamy, and exactly what happened with this interview with Larry Elder, right? When you give people like that a mic, they embarrass themselves, and they show that, hey, you're not actually coming into this interview with an open mind. You're coming into this interview to be adversarial, right? You're trying to make points that aren't there. You're trying to sound smarter than you are. And again, you just end up sounding dumber, right, to people who are actually watching the show, right? And in that interview that she did with Vivek Ramaswamy, if you look at the comment section, a vast majority of black people disagree with her, okay? A vast majority of people disagree with her, okay? Are they all sellouts and toms? Well, according to some race hustlers on the internet, that has to be what it is, right? If you don't agree with this woman, if you think this woman is out of bounds in regards to how she asks questions and just how unnecessarily confrontational she is, right? Trying to sound smarter than she is. If you have a problem with it, if you have an issue with it, which a vast majority of people did, right, in that interview with Vivek Ramaswamy, and I'm sure there's going to be similar backlash to this Larry Elder interview once it really starts to catch steam. Again, you must be a sellout, right? You must not be black. Again, according to some people, because you have to think a certain way in order to actually really be black, okay? And again, that's how a lot of these people think. That's how a lot of these people are. And again, these are the people that's really holding back black folks, right? People out here that don't allow black people to think in a way that is diverse, right? Have a diverse mindset, that have diverse thoughts, to think differently. These are the people that's actually really holding us back, right? People like Charlamagne the God that went on that show and actively tried to strip Larry Elder of his black card, tried to prove that he's not actually really black, okay? When, hey, he allowed Joe Biden to come on the show and to basically give him his N-word wake-up call. Again, it's just hilarious, right? It really is. These are not serious people. They're really not. All they have is the race hustle. They can't talk about anything outside of the race hustle. If you start talking about anything like the economy, crime, the border, foreign policy, if you get into any type of real politics outside of race hustle, these people have nothing, right? They have absolutely nothing. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a black conservative perspective. Peace.